This video demonstrates the step-by-step procedure to install the Monogram 30-inch Smart Electric Convection double-wall ovens. The installation procedure applies to the statement oven collections, including the French door and Minimalist collections. Before beginning the installation, ensure the following conditions are met. Switch off the power at the service panel and lock it. Ensure you plan the oven installation in such a way that the oven is securely installed in a cabinet that is firmly attached to the house structure. Ensure the wall coverings, counters, and cabinets around the oven can withstand up to 200 degrees Fahrenheit generated by the oven. All electric wall ovens must be hardwired into an approved junction box. A plug and receptacle is not permitted on these products. The tools and materials required for the installation are displayed on the screen. Remove the oven and all other packaging parts from the box. Then, remove labels and protective film on all stainless steel parts. Open oven door and remove literature pack and oven racks. Remove the bottom trim from the top of the oven. The trim is wrapped separately and taped to the top of the unit. It will be installed at the end. A double-wall oven can be installed in a cabinet alone or above a warming drawer. However, it is not allowed under a countertop or cooktop. If the cabinet does not have a solid bottom, install 2 braces or runners to support the weight of the oven. For double ovens, the runners and braces must support 400 pounds. Note, if marks, blemishes, or the cutout opening are visible above the installed oven, add wood shims under the runners until the marks or opening are covered. Note, if the cabinet does not have a front frame and the sides are less than 3/4 inch thick, add cleats to both sides equally to establish the cutout width. The overall cabinet width required with or without pedestal is 30 inches, and the cutout width required is between 28.5 inches and 28 5/8 inches. The overall cutout depth is to be 23.5 inches. The junction box located at the back of the cabinet on the right side is to be installed at a minimum of 47 inches from the floor. Refer to the installation manual for other dimensions. Note, you need to use pedestal rails when you are replacing an older GE or Monogram 30-inch double-wall oven with the new Monogram model, installing a new Monogram 30-inch double-wall oven into new construction or remodel. Note, you will not use a pedestal when you replace a 30-inch double-wall oven from another manufacturer with a new GE Appliances 30-inch double-wall oven. If a pedestal rail is being installed, the required cutout is to be from 51 13/16 inches to 51 15/16 inches. Do not install a pedestal when the cutout height is a maximum of 50 1/4 inch. To install the pedestal rail, position the pedestal rails with the top cutout towards the front of the opening and the flanges on the bottom pointing towards the center. Locate each rail on the floor or cabinet runner slightly inward from the side of the cabinet. Ensure that the front of each rail is not protruding beyond the front of the cabinet opening. Drill pilot holes and attach rails to runner or bottom of cabinet. For installing a double-wall oven over a warming drawer, additional clearances with a minimum of 2 inches between cutouts may be required. Ensure that the oven supporting structure above the warming drawer location does not obstruct the required interior depth and height. When installing a warming drawer below the oven, install a separate 120 volts 60 Hz properly grounded receptacle. For installing the anti-tip block against the rear wall, refer to the installation manuals of warming drawer. The door removal procedure is an optional step for the purpose of convenient installation. To remove the lower oven door, open the oven door as far as possible. Remove hinge bracket, if equipped, from front frame and set aside. The hinge bracket must be replaced if equipped for proper door functionality when door is reinstalled later. Push both hinge locks down toward the door frame to the unlock position using a flat blade screwdriver. Place hands on both sides of the door and close the oven door to the removal position approximately 1 to 2 inches from the closed position. Lift the door up and out until the hinge arms clear the slots. Note: do not lift the door using the handle under any circumstances. The safety instructions for electrical connection is displayed on the screen. The rating plate is located on the left side trim of the oven frame. Refer to the chart in the installation manual to determine the minimum recommended dedicated circuit protection. Do not shorten the flexible conduit. The conduit strain relief clamp must be securely attached to the junction box, and the flexible conduit must be securely attached to the clamp. To support connecting the conduit to the junction box, place the oven on a table or platform that is even with the cutout opening. For a double oven, the platform must support 400 pounds. Connect the flexible conduit to the electrical junction box. Position the conduit in such a manner that it will lie behind the unit in a natural loop when the oven is installed. Note that, by default, the ovens are equipped with a 48 inches long conduit. If you need a longer conduit, contact your nearest dealer. You need to purchase and use a strain relief clamp at the junction box. For a 3-conductor branch circuit connection, connect the oven ground conductor along with the neutral or white lead to the branch circuit neutral, which is white or gray in color, using a wire nut. Connect the oven red lead to the branch circuit red lead and the oven black lead to the branch circuit black lead using wire nuts. Install junction box cover. For a 4-conductor branch circuit connection, attach the appliance grounding lead, which is green or bare copper. Connect the oven neutral or white lead to the branch circuit neutral, which is white or gray in color, using a wire nut. Connect the oven red lead to the branch circuit red lead and the oven black lead to the branch circuit black lead using wire nuts. Install junction box cover. To slide the oven into the opening, loop a 36-inch string around the conduit before the oven is slid into place. This will keep the conduit from falling behind the oven. Lift oven into the cabinet cutout using the oven opening as a grip. Carefully push against oven front frame. As you slide the oven back, pull the string so that the conduit will lie on top of the oven in a natural loop. Ensure that the conduit is out of the way and slide the oven 3/4 way back into the opening. Remove the string by pulling on one end of the loop. Do not push against outside edges. After the oven is installed, attach the bottom trim through its mounting holes in front vertical brace using the 2 trim screws. Place the bottom trim lip under the flange of bottom air duct. If the unit needs to be removed from the cabinet, or if the oven needs to be pulled out for service, the bottom trim must be removed first to avoid damages. Ensure that you refer to the safety instructions and warnings in the manual before you mount the oven. Before you proceed, note that the mounting hole locations vary depending on the model. Note: before drilling the pilot holes, ensure that the oven is pushed as far back into the opening as it will go and is centered. To mount the oven, drill through the mounting holes at the top and bottom of the side trim. Secure the oven cabinet with the number 8 screws provided. The screws must be a minimum of 1/4 inch from the front of the cutout. To install the oven racks, locate included oven rack guide mounting hardware. Place oven rack guides on cavity wall studs with L bracket towards back of cavity. Install guides using the 8 mounting nuts. Door adjustment mechanism is located on both the right and left doors of the bottom hinges. Using the 3/16 inch hex key, tighten vertical adjustment screw to adjust the door upwards and loosen to adjust the door downwards. Horizontal adjustment screws pivot the door about an axis. Using a 1/8 inch hex key, loosen both screws, then tighten appropriate screw to pivot door. As soon as the door is set in place, ensure that both screws are tightened. Adjust the doors inward only until the center gap is even. Over-adjusting can damage the center seals. and make the doors more difficult to open. There are various scenarios in which over-adjustment can lead to faulty door positions affecting the center gap. This video demonstrates a few of the scenarios involving adjustment of the left door height and the center gap. Example 1. If the left door is low, but the center gap is even, tighten the left vertical adjustment screw. If the left door continues to stay low, loosen the right vertical adjustment screw. Example 2. If the left door is low, but the center gap is larger at the bottom, loosen the inside horizontal adjustment screw. Tighten the outside horizontal adjustment screw until the center gap is even. If the left door continues to stay low, tighten the left vertical adjustment screw and then tighten the inside horizontal adjustment screw. Example 3. If the left door is high, but the center gap is larger at the top, loosen the outside horizontal adjustment screw. To replace the lower oven door or the thermal oven door, lift the oven door by grasping each side. With the door at the same angle as the removal position, that is 1 to 2 inches from the closed position, seat the notch of the hinge arm into the bottom edge of the hinge slot. Ensure that the notch is fully seated into the bottom of the slot. Open the door fully to check. If the door does not fully open, the indentation is not seated correctly in the bottom edge of the slot. Push the hinge locks upwards against the front frame of the oven cavity to the lock position. Replace hinge bracket, if equipped, to ensure proper door functionality. Close the oven door. The installation of oven is complete. Refer to the installation and operations checklists provided in the manual to finalize the installation.